COVID-19 positive cases in India rise to 40 with 6 more persons from Kerala having travel history to Italy testing positive. The Union Cabinet Secretary holds a meeting to review the current situation and preparedness. In view of the rising cases of COVID-19 from France, the US and Spain, the government decides to have dedicated aero bridges for these countries. Markets continue their sharp slide on fears of COVID-19 spread as BSE, Sensex and Nifty open in the red. Sensex tanks by over 1400 points in the opening trade, while the Nifty falls by over 400 points. Heavy exchange of fire between security forces and terrorists in Khawjapora Reban area of Shopian. In Kashmir, 1 terrorist killed and 2 to 3 are still believed to be trapped there. Cordon and search operation underway to flush out the hiding terrorists. The CBI registers case against Yes Bank founder Rana Kapoor and others on the charges of criminal conspiracy, cheating and corruption. Rana Kapoor remanded to Enforcement Directorate custody till the 11th of March. Sports news, 5 Indian boxers including Pooja Rani, Vikas Krishnan, Lavleena booked berth for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, enter the semi-finals of the Asian qualifiers in Amman. Indian squad for the ODI series against South Africa announced. Hardik Pandya, Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Shikhar Dhawan returned to the squad, while Rohit Sharma and Mohammad Shami excluded due to injuries. The first match of the 3-match ODI series to be played on Thursday at Dharamshala. Hello and good morning. You're watching Doordarshan News with me, Nancy Kohli. Our top story: 1 terrorist has been gunned down during an ongoing encounter between the security forces and terrorists at the Khawjapora Reban in Shopian district in Jammu and Kashmir. Cordon and search operation was launched in the area on basis of specific inputs. Around 2 to 3 terrorists are still believed to be trapped there. We'll get more inputs on that story that's coming in from Shopian in Jammu and Kashmir, where that encounter there, in which 1 terrorist has been neutralized, but the cordon and search operation, we are given to understand, is still underway, and around 2 to 3 terrorists are still believed to be trapped in that area. Let's now move on to some other news, and 1 more confirmed case has been reported from the Ernakulam district of Kerala, taking the total number of confirmed cases to now 40. All the 6 new confirmed cases have travel history to Italy. Meanwhile, the Principal Secretary Planning of Jammu and Kashmir, Rohit Kansal, said that the situation is under watch there and 400 are under surveillance in the Satawari and Sarawal areas of Jammu. He added that the Anganwadi centres in these areas are closed till the 31st of March. Meanwhile, the government is keeping a close watch on the situation and a number of measures have been taken to contain the spread of coronavirus. The Union Cabinet Secretary took the 16th review meeting, and the preparations to bring in citizens from Iran were elaborately discussed, which are at an advanced stage. Since the disease has spread over more than 90 countries with over 1 lakh cases worldwide, the states and union territories have been asked to enhance community surveillance as per the list of passengers provided to the states and the union territories. In view of the rising cases from France, US and Spain, it was decided to have dedicated aero bridges of these countries also in addition to the 12 countries. It was also stressed that people need to be made aware about the use of masks. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan is continuously monitoring and reviewing the status, actions taken and the future preparedness of the states.
The Cabinet Secretary took a review meeting, and let me tell you, this was his 16th meeting. Basically, the preparations to bring our Indian citizens from Iran were elaborately discussed. It was decided that we need to enhance our community surveillance with regard to these countries. It was also stressed that people need to be made aware about the use of mask.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shankar has assured full support to over 40 Indian citizens stranded at the Qom city in Iran in urgent need of medical help and general assistance. In a tweet, the minister said, I quote, efforts underway for return of the Indian pilgrims in Qom in Iran. Screening process has started and the follow-up arrangements are being discussed with the Iranian authorities. This is the top priority and the embassy team at India in Iran is fully engaged in this. On the welfare of the Indian fishermen stuck in Iran, the minister said that our embassy in Iran continues to maintain close contact with the Indian fishermen in Iran. No case of COVID-19 has been reported among them, ensuring that they have adequate supplies. We'll continue to monitor their welfare. And on to markets now. Sensex plummeted over 1,400 points in the opening session today, led by deepening a rout in the global markets amid rapidly spreading coronavirus and sinking crude prices. The NSE Nifty also cracked 417 points. According to traders, investor sentiment took fresh beating as oil prices plunged nearly 30%, adding to the heightened volatility in global markets. The rupee, meanwhile, was trading flat at 73.89 against the US dollar in the morning session. And 10 people died in the Chinese city of Gwangju after the place that was being used for quarantine individuals under observation for the coronavirus collapsed. The hotel began to collapse on Saturday evening. 48 individuals have been rescued from the site of the collapse. Of that total, 10 have been confirmed dead, with the rest being treated at different hospitals. And Italy has imposed a virtual lockdown across a swath of its wealthy north yesterday, including the financial capital Milan, in a drastic new attempt to try to contain a rapidly growing outbreak of the coronavirus. The unprecedented restrictions that will impact around 16 million people and stay in force until the 3rd of April. The new measures say that people should not enter or leave Lombardy, that's Italy's richest region, as well as 14 provinces and 4 other regions, including the city of Venice, Modena, Parma, Piacenza, Reggio Emilia and Rimini. Italy has been hit harder by the crisis than anywhere else in Europe so far, with the number of coronavirus cases jumping more than 1,200 in a 24-hour period, the biggest daily rise since the epidemic began in the country 2 weeks ago. The latest total of cases stood at 5,883 with 233 deaths. France has banned gatherings of over 1,000 people to contain coronavirus, though with some exceptions of protests and the use of mass public transport. The French health authorities also reported 3 new coronavirus deaths yesterday, taking the country's death toll from the outbreak to 19, as the number of reported infections also rose to 1,126. France remains on level 2 of its outbreak response plan, which seeks focuses on containment. Level 3 is the highest level. South Korean army and medical staff were mobilized at hospitals in Daegu, the city at the center of the worst coronavirus outbreak outside mainland China. South Korea has reported an additional 179 new coronavirus cases, for a total of 272 new cases over the previous 24 hours. The new cases bring South Korea's total to 7,313, the largest number of any country outside of China. The daily increase was the lowest in at least a week. Meanwhile, several embassies in North Korea have been closed today, and as many diplomats were flown out following weeks of tight quarantine restrictions imposed by Pyongyang over the spread of the novel coronavirus. North Korea has not confirmed a single infection but has imposed strict rules, including closing its borders and putting thousands of its own people into isolation. And in Iraq, the Shalamcha border crossing with Iran has been closed due to concerns over rapid spread of the coronavirus, which has killed 194 people and infected around 6,500 others in Iran. Iraq's overland trade with Kuwait and Iran is to be suspended between the 8th to the 15th of March. Iraq has also shut its Safwan border crossing with Kuwait to travelers and trade. Iraq reported 8 new coronavirus cases in Baghdad, 2 in Soleimania and 1 case in Karbala. And as per the World Health Organization's latest situation report on the COVID-19 outbreak globally, over 100 countries have now reported laboratory-confirmed cases of COVID-19. China reported 22 new deaths from the novel coronavirus epidemic and the lowest number of fresh cases since it began reporting the data in January this year. There were 40 new cases nationwide, the National Health Commission said, with most in Hubei, the central province at the epicenter of the outbreak. The 22 new deaths bring the country's toll to 3,119. More than 80,700 people have been infected in total in mainland China. Moving on now to some other news, the CBI has registered a case against founder and the CEO of Yes Bank, Rana Kapoor, Diwan Housing Finance Limited, its promoter Kapil Vadhavan and the Dwight Urban Ventures Limited. A case has also been registered on the charges of criminal conspiracy, cheating and corruption under relevant sections of the IPC and the Prevention of Corruption Act. The CBI has alleged that Rana Kapoor extended financial assistance to DHFL to get substantial undue benefits for himself and his family members via companies held by Kapoor and his family. The FIR was registered after the agency's specialized unit dealing with the bank fraud cases examined the matter. Meanwhile, yesterday early morning, Rana Kapoor was arrested by the Enforcement Directorate under money laundering charges after over 30 hours of questioning and remanded to its custody till the 11th of March. Meanwhile, acting on a lookout circular opened at the request of the Enforcement Directorate against Rana Kapoor and his family members, his youngest daughter Roshni was stopped at the Mumbai International Airport yesterday while boarding a flight to London. Roshni was trying to board a London-bound flight, but she was not allowed to clear the immigration checks. According to sources, Roshni is a director in many entities. The Enforcement Directorate is probing under the money laundering case registered against her father, Rana Kapoor. Following the development, Roshni was asked to join the investigation in the case. The Delhi police has said that it has filed 702 cases and 2,387 people have either been detained or arrested in connection with the recent violence in northeast Delhi. According to police, out of the 702 cases filed, 49 have been registered under the Arms Act. They also said that 283 meetings have been held with the Aman committees in the violence-hit areas of northeast Delhi. Moving on now, a couple linked to the Islamic State's Khorasan module was arrested from South Delhi's Jamia Nagar yesterday for allegedly instigating anti-CAA protests in the national capital. The Delhi police said that they have been identified as Jahanjeb Sami and his wife Hina Bashir Beg. They also confirmed that the couple hailed from Srinagar and were residing in Jamia Nagar in Delhi. Interrogation has revealed that they had created several anonymous accounts on the popular social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram and Twitter to promote the ideology of the Islamic State. They were also circulating material against the government for enacting the CAA. 4 mobile phones, a laptop, 1 external hard disk and incriminating material has been seized from their house. A case has been registered against them and further interrogation is underway. Women in the armed forces are not just being offered permanent commission but are also being inducted into the combat roles. Our correspondent Nandita Daga spoke with some of the female Air Force officers regarding their jobs.
Wing Commander Yadav, as an air traffic controller, you have the life of men, officers, pilots in your hands, at your command. How critical this job is, the Air Force is empowering, is giving you such a critical job. So how privileged do you feel to be in the Air Force?
We are being trained well to handle the stress as well as to make split-second judgments. Yes, it is an honor to serve in the Indian Air Force as a air traffic controller, but that is the case in every stream in Indian Air Force now, because right now no branch or no sub-branch is being off limit for women officers. Even in fighters, we have women officers who are flying. So that is very good.
I have flown initially in my training stage, HPT 32 was there. Thereafter, I am fully qualified on AN-32 aircraft. And now presently I am flying Dornier aircraft. Since 1993, Indian Air Force has opened a flying branch for women officers. And now we have women officers in all streams, helicopters, transports, and now fighters also. So once we don this uniform, there is no difference. If you qualify, the basic QRs are there for a particular stream. If you are qualifying that, you very well perform the duties what a male counterpart is doing. So uniform doesn't differ. It is the only your qualification. If you qualify for that, you perform that duty.
I have been in the transport fleet for last 7.5 years. Yes, it is very satisfying, especially when we are the only lifeline for our troops, which are deployed both in the northern sector and the northeastern sector. We also connect directly to our island territories to the mainland of our country. Whenever there's an emergency does not give you any date or time before it hits you. And if there's an emergency, say there is flood relief, there would always be bad weather associated with it. So yes, it's risky and it is a very challenging environment to work in.
Prime Minister Modi, in his Independence Day speech of 2018, had announced that his government wants to induct women in permanent commission. The recent Supreme Court order has ensured that. Now, women in the armed forces are not just enjoying permanent commission, they are also enjoying combat roles. So, not just supporting roles, like women in the Air Force are not just in navigational branches, educational branches, they are also flying helicopters, transport aircrafts, and now for the past 2 years, even fighter jets. In New Delhi, this is Nandita Dagar for DD News.
And moving on now to news from around the world, the South Korean military informed that North Korea has fired 3 unidentified projectiles off its eastern coast a week after firing 2 short-range missiles. The projectiles were launched from the coastal town of Sondok, which hosts a military airfield. North Korea fired 2 short-range missiles off the east coast into the sea on the 2nd of March after a 3-month halt. Britain, Germany, France, Estonia and Belgium raised North Korea's latest missile firings at the UNSC on the 7th of March, calling them a provocative action that violated the UN resolutions. Hundreds of Argentine Catholics gathered for open-air mass in Luzon as part of a prayer protest against legalized abortion. The Argentine President Alberto Fernandez announced to send a bill to legalize abortion, an initiative that has broad social support but is also strongly opposed by the religious groups in Pope Francis' home nation. The current Argentine law only permits abortions in cases of rape or if the mother's health is at a risk. A previous bill to legalize abortion up to 14 weeks was passed by the lower house but rejected by the Senate. And moving on now to news from back home, the Reserve Bank's second long-term repo operations, or the LTROs for 3-year tenors or worth 25,000 crore rupees, will be conducted today. The reversal date for the same is 7th of March 2023. The RBI on the 24th of February conducted the second LTROs for 1-year issue worth 25,000 crore rupees, for which it received bids of 1.23 lakh crore rupees. The reversal date for repos of 1-year tenors is 23rd of February 2021. Under the LTRO scheme announced in the Monetary Policy Review on the 6th of February, the RBI will conduct term repos of 1-year and 3-year tenors up to a total amount of 1 lakh crore rupees at the policy repo rate, which is currently 5.15%. On the 13th of February, the RBI had said the interest on the LTROs would be compounded on an annual basis and would be conducted at the prevailing repo rate. The Reserve Bank of India has allayed fears of the bank depositors and assured the safety of their deposits. The banking regulator added that the right way to measure a lender's solvency was its capital to risk, the weighted assets, and not the market capitalization. In a tweet, the RBI said that concern has been raised in certain sections of the media about the safety of deposits of certain banks. This concern is based on analysis that is flawed. The solvency of the banks is internationally based on capital to risk weighted assets, the CRAR, and not on market cap. The RBI closely monitors all the banks and hereby assures all the depositors that there is no such concern of safety of their deposits in any bank, unquote. Moving on now to sports news, the Board of Control for Cricket in India, the BCCI, has announced India's squad for the 3-match ODI series against South Africa, scheduled to be played between 12th and the 18th of March. Virat Kohli will lead India's 15-member ODI squad for the South Africa series. The Sunil Joshi-led 5-member selection panel recalled fit again India all-rounder Hardik Pandya, opener Shikhar Dhawan and pacer Bhuvneshwar Kumar in their first task since appointment. The Indian ODI squad for the South Africa series comprised Shikhar Dhawan, Prithvi Shaw, Virat Kohli, KL Rahul, Manish Pandey, Shreyas Iyer, Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya, Ravindra Jadeja, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Yuzvendra Chahal, Jasprit Bumrah, Navdeep Saini, Kuldeep Yadav and Shubman Gill. 5 Indian boxers including the seasoned trio of Vikas Krishnan in the 60 kg, Pooja Rani in 75 kg and Satish Kumar in the plus 91 kg category yesterday secured the Tokyo Olympic berth by advancing to the semi-finals of the Asian qualifiers with mostly commanding victories in Amman, Jordan. Satish Rani Krishnan, Kulovlina Borgohain in 69 kg and Ashish Kumar in 75 kg became the first set of the Indian boxers to qualify for quadrennial Shopian scheduled in July to August this year. While 4th-seeded Rani notched up a facile 5-0 win over Thailand's Pornipa Chuti, Krishnan endured a difficult one against 3rd-seeded Japanese Okazawa before prevailing in a unanimous verdict against the Asian silver medalist. Rani will next face the reigning world and Asian champion Li Qiuan of China, who has the top billing in the 75 kg category. And let's now move on, get to our Good News India story. And well, they say that books are one's best friends. The sooner books become your companions, the greater good it does to you. The children of Radoli village in Jaipur are making books their friends with the help from a 60-year-old woman who runs a library for them, a service she gives for free.
For 6 years now, 60-year-old Amrita Singh is friends with these children, and this village library has helped bring them closer. Every Sunday, this library offers children tales of art, culture, science, and a range of other subjects, from locating the state Rajasthan on the maps to zeroing in on neighboring countries. Children learn quite a lot here. Visiting a library helps develop and sustain reading habits, and Amrita had always dreamt of forging lifelong friendships between children and books.
ये बताया कि पर्यावरण के लिए अपन को पेड़ लगाने हैं और पेड़ सिर्फ कहने से नहीं लग सकते थे, मुझे लगा तो मैंने इनको इंसेंटिव के तौर पे एक छोटी सी लाइब्रेरी की शुरुआत करी एज अ गिफ्ट, लेकिन उसमें और बच्चे जुड़ते गए और धीरे-धीरे अब मेरे पास काफी बच्चे आने लगे हैं.
This library is not less than any school for these children. They not only learn how to read and write from their teacher Amrita, but also take lessons on cleanliness and moral education. Children have to plant trees and tend to them in lieu of accessing books from the library, thus helping develop love for nature among them. And children's efforts have taken the shape of a nursery in the village.
मैंने यहाँ के पढ़ाई भी सीखा, इंग्लिश रीडिंग सीखी और मैम ने जनरल नॉलेज की भी बताई कई चीज़ें और हमें पेड़ लगाना सिखाया. अगर हम पेड़ लगाएंगे तो हमें ऑक्सीजन मिल पाएगा, अगर ऑक्सीजन नहीं मिलेंगे तो अपन जी नहीं सकेंगे.
From books in the library to study material, Amrita buys them all and provides them to the children free of cost. Every Sunday, children spend time at this library 50 kilometers from Jaipur. Amrita and her library are thus driving transformative change in the lives of children. With bureau inputs, Vishal Barristow's report from Jaipur for DD India.
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the news. Thanks for being with us.